Hello, brothers and sisters. Happy Sunday. Today we're going to be recapping what we've learned so far in our series, Living for God. Okay, so we had previously looked at faith and we're able to learn the kind of faith that we need as Christians, the kind of faith that is effective faith. So we say that faith is the belief in what is not seen or felt. Okay. You believe that God can do something for you even when you've not seen it. And faith by itself, if it has no works, is dead. So you need to know the faith that is alive and effective and the faith that is dead. Because it's only the faith that is alive and effective that does the right work for you. So how do you make your faith alive and effective? If your faith has works, that's when it becomes life and effective. So how do you do this work? How do you give works to your faith? You do that by when you see people that are in need of clothes, food, education, help of whatsoever kind, you provide those for them. You don't just tell them how good those things are. All of us know that education is very important for you to find the right career and live a better life. Food is very important to nourish your body so that you can grow. Clothes are important because they cover your body, giving you comfort and making you feel better, especially in environments where the weather is not so good. It also makes you to be presentable, okay? So all these are very, very important and we know. So rather than just tell people about the importance, you have to do the work, give the people that need them, provide those for them, especially the needy. And that is also how you show love, by giving. Because for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him shall have eternal. For God so loved the world that he gave. That is only how you show that is how you show love, by giving. Okay, so the works that make your faith to be alive is demonstrated in your giving. Okay, it is works that give faith life. So when you work, that's when your faith becomes alive. And you know that faith by itself, if it has no work, is dead. So you don't want to have dead faith. You want the faith that has life. And how do you give life to your faith? By working. And how do you work? By giving out clothes, food, education, help, advice, all those to those who need them. That is how you make your faith alive. Okay, so we treated this very sermon in, I think that should be my first or second. So please, you can check it out on this YouTube channel. I can just type this in your YouTube so that you can study this more. Okay, message of hope in the Lord's help. Okay, we checked these other teachings again, and it was about the message of hope and the Lord's help, especially for those of us that you find yourself in situations that you're not comfortable with. Don't feel so bad about it. Before I check this out, please, if you want to read more about this faith, you can check out James chapter 2 from verse 14 to 18. Very, very important. Okay, now let's move on to message of hope and the Lord's help. Now, don't be ashamed or relent in serving God due to your situation. No matter the situation you find yourself in, don't be ashamed or relent in serving God. The Lord will help you. Know that. Just know that. He already is doing that. He's already helping you. And you shall not be put to shame. The Lord will never allow somebody that serves him in truth, in spirit, to be put to shame. That's one thing I can assure you. Now, your help is near. It is almost here. So hold on to God. Don't give up. Be assured, confident in your faith in God, because God transcends man. Okay, so just trust Him. Keep trusting Him. So I also discussed these teachings, and you can get it in this YouTube uh, ad, link address also, if you want to get the detailed teachings. Okay. Then after that, we talked about your cross. And sometimes when you find yourself in every little temptation, you already jump from one church to the other, this church to the, you keep moving from churches. As a child of God, you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. You need to create a personal relationship with God. It has to be personal, you and Him. Both of you have to have a relationship. You know what it means to have relationship with somebody? Somebody that you understand, you talk to, you know him, he knows you. Okay, that's the kind of relationship you have with God. And once you have that kind of relationship, you don't need to be jumping from one church or one prayer house to the other just because you have a little problem. Okay, because Christ, even when he was on earth, he had his own cross that he had to carry, and he carried it, and he was not jumping from one God to the other. He always had faith in the Father, the Almighty I am that I am, Jehovah Adonai. You understand? He always had faith in Him, and he continued and believed in His power to raise him from death, and that happened. Okay. So your cross, you need to carry it, and God will always help you when you're carrying your cross, and you will not die in it. Rather, you will be joyous and triumph with faith. You can read the book of Mark, chapter 8, from verse 27 to 35. Now, the problems you face should not make you a spiritual prostitute, going from one church or man to another. If any man would come after me, this is what the Christ said himself. He said, if any man would come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. Okay, Christ said, if you're coming after him, you have to take your cross and follow him. You have to follow him. You understand? So you shouldn't be afraid of carrying your cross or having little persecutions here and there. As a Christian, you need to have those little persecutions from time to time. You understand? It tests your faith and it makes you to be stronger. Because once you pass through those persecutions and you get stronger, you're going to be happier being a Christian, because you're being developed. You understand? It's just like you're being smelted. You understand? If you're an engineer, you should understand this, and you're being worked on so that you become very strong. Okay, so that's what Christ himself said, and he suffered actually. And he said, if any man would come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me. Now, he also said that you save your life by losing it for Christ and gospel's sake. Very, very important. So the gospel sake and for Christ is more important than you trying to keep your life. In fact, you actually save your life by placing more priority on the things of God in the gospel. Okay, so you can also check out these YouTube link and check out the full teaching that I had on these. Okay. Okay, so let me continue. I hope you guys are having a wonderful Sunday. I pray that the Lord will give us the strength and wisdom to understand His words and continue to live in His words. Okay, let's continue. Oh, righteousness. Okay, please check out the book of Wisdom, chapter 2, verse 12, and also verse 17 to 20. A righteous man inconveniences the ungodly and opposes their actions. You know, if you say you're a righteous man, you shouldn't be comfortable with the unrighteous being around you, the ungodly. You understand? You should have to make effort to make them change and do the right thing. He reproaches them for sin against the Lord. So when you're a righteous person, it has to show. You understand? You shouldn't be comfortable with sin going on all about you. Understand? You have to take purposeful steps to helping out. Now, he accuses them of sins against their training. He is tested to prove his faith with insults and torture. Okay, as a righteous person, you're gonna have insults, have torture, but keep being gentle and forbearing. The Lord will protect you. Very, very important. Okay, I think the YouTube link for this, I don't have it now, but I think I'm gonna check it and send it across. Okay, wisdom, very, very important. That is the next one. Now, you can check out the book of James, chapter 3 from verse okay, chapter 3, verse 16, and chapter 4, verse 3. Okay. Now, jealousy and selfish ambition brings disorder and vile practices. Very, very important. Jealousy and selfishness shouldn't be found around you as Christians. Wisdom from God is pure, is peaceable, is gentle, is open to reason, is full of mercy and good fruit, without uncertainty and insincerity. So when you're talking about the wisdom of God, these are the elements of the wisdom that come from God. Being cunning, being over smart, being all those kind of things. Uh, uh, they are not actually the kind of wisdom that the Bible is talking about. You understand? So the wisdom the Bible is talking about has to be such that has these properties, these characteristics, these features. Number one, it has to be pure, it has to be peaceable, it has to be in peace, very, very important. It has to be gentle, it has to reflect, it has to be open to reason. People should be able to contribute. It has to be, there shouldn't be pride, too much pride in it, you understand? It has to be full with mercy, very, very important. You can't be talking about righteousness when your heart is bang, 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 unforgiving and all those. Wisdom from God is filled with good fruits and doesn't have uncertainty and insincerity. Now, some kill because they do not have their desire. That is wrong. You ask and do not receive because you ask wrongly to spend it on your passions. So when you're too selfish, you might be praying and God will not be answering because you want to spend those things that is going to give you on your passions. So you have to fathom these out when you reason. When you ask God, it has to be. He gives you those benefits, you use it and show love by giving. That is how you show love. Very important. Okay, leadership and humility. Mark 9, from verse 30 to 37. If anyone would be first, he must be least of all and a servant of all. Now, you want to be a leader, you don't know how to be a leader. If you want to be a leader, then you're going to start by serving. Because the servant, being a servant makes you the best leader. When you're ready to serve everybody, then you're automatically a leader, even when not trying to impose yourself. Very, very important. Now, whosoever receives one such child in my name receives me, and whosoever receives me receives not me, but him who sent me. Okay, some people are all about big, big people. Those are the people you want to do good with. Those are the people you want to do right with. You understand? You want to give your money to somebody that is already rich. You understand? But Christ wants you to give it to those people that are little, those people that are child, those people that don't know much, those people that you look as the downtrodden in the society. Because when you do stuff for those people, it's as if you're doing it for Christ Himself. And when you do for Christ Himself, you're doing it for God Himself. You understand? That is the right approach towards God. Okay. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. So we've treated some of these on different occasions, and okay, I think I passed one. I would have wanted us to discuss. This is very important. Um, these are actually my thoughts on Biafra and the struggle by Nnamdi Kanu, and I think it's good. I also shared the way to go, the best way to go about this, and I always feel that it is time to invite God into our situation. Igbos, very, very important. I, I would always want to do things the way that it has a lot to do with God, because I believe in the efficacy of the power of God. Now, let us seek God's face, direction, and guidance in the struggle. If you're going to be struggling about anything, you have to invite God into it. Nnamdi Kanu has done a wonderful job in, in, in what he has done so far. But then there has to be open mind. The horizon has to be embroidered. Clergymen has to be involved. Professionals have to be involved. Learned people has to be involved. People with different opinions, you understand? And all these has to be anchored in God. Very, very important. I have always thought about it this way. An equitable Nigeria would be good for everybody. Like if there is equity, if there is restructuring, very, very important. Restructuring will help development. It's going to help industrialization a whole lot. You understand? When the country is restructured, each and every uh, zone in the country, they will be able to look inwards. You understand? Some of the laws in the country that gives the right to land to the federal government, everything has to be decentralized. So that, say Anambra State has oil in their land, they can be able to explore that, get the youths in Anambra State engaged into work. That is going to go a long way in cutting down unemployment. You can see that unemployment is increasing on a daily basis in this country. And people talk about restructuring, and you don't want to listen to our leaders. Some of them don't want to listen to restructuring. That is very wrong. Because what happens is that the economy keeps going down and things are not improving. And that's why you have agitations here and there. So there has to be, very importantly, restructuring, and there has to be equity. When there is equity, everybody want to be brothers. Everybody want to live together. But if there is no equity and you're forcing somebody to be with you, and at the same time you're not trying to make things work for everybody, then it becomes wrong. Okay, so that is my thoughts on that. And I think Nnamdi Kanu is actually very truthful in his quest to better the life of the Igbos. That's what I think. I, I believe that he's very truthful, he's sincere, and I think that the best way to go about whether it is restructuring of Biafra would be uh, for us to trust and carry our what's it called? How, I don't know how to put this. Understand? To be dependent on God to make things work, but that does not mean that we're not going to do our own work. Now, how do we start doing something for ourselves? That's what we should ask ourselves. The state governments in the eastern regions, what are they doing with the resources and with the power and with the what they have now? What are they doing? You understand? I believe that the governors of the eastern region can come together. All of them can come together. You understand? They can do combined projects like tech zones, where you can have people learn trending technologies in software and other things. You understand? Bring very good teacher instructors. You understand? Bring instructor that bring good projects for use to be trained and they get the right skills, and there are multiple remote jobs out there. If youths in the east, if they are trained to get access to these remote jobs, it will go a very long way in alleviating the plight of the Igbos. Very, very important. And that is just one. We can do industrial layouts, industrial zones, where there'll be infrastructures like electricity, internet, good housing, so that people that have some amount of money can easily move in there and start doing something. And also there should be provision of funds, credit facilities for entrepreneurs that want to do something. These are things that the governors can come together and start doing immediately and start alleviating the plight of the people, and you see things start working. Very, very important. I'm going to leave this for here for now, but I still have a lot to talk about the Igbos moving forward, the agitation of Biafra, and restructuring of Nigeria. Like I said before, restructuring would have been the best alternative if the government in place is ready for equity. There has to be equity. Once there is equity, even the North will be happy, the West will be happy, the East, the Middle Belt, everybody will be happy. Equity, very, very important. And restructuring will go a long way in addressing the issue of equity. Okay. Now, serving God, very, very important, the way to go. If you want to have a relationship with God, it has to be a deliberate act. You have to take a deliberate decision. It's not something that you just say, this is what I want to do. You have to do something about it. You have to be reading the Bible to study the word. If you can't study the word, then you don't have enough knowledge. My people perish because of lack of knowledge. The knowledge you're going to get them from the word to know, understand God and know what he really wants. You're also going to get other knowledge from financial literacy, from learning, from going to school, from knowing how to having good interpersonal skills and meeting people. You understand? So those are levels of knowledge that you need. But very importantly, as a Christian, you need to study the Bible. You need to make deliberate effort to serving God. You can do that by starting by studying the Bible, by getting a very good church, going to church where you are in the community of believers that will help strengthen your faith. Then from time to time, you need to do physical, spiritual exercises like fasting and pray. Praying is steady. You have to always do that because that's how you communicate with God. But fasting, very, very important, so that you can subdue your physical your carnal man. You need to subdue it with fasting and sometimes long hours of prayers to bring you to the state that you want to be. Then you also need to study the word deeply and research the Bible, both the New and Old Testaments and translation and other books that relate to God. Very, very important. You need to research the word so that you know the history. Some of these what people tell you are translated over time. But when you research, you really understand the roots of the word, and it will go a long way in helping you become a better person. Okay. So I think I'll be stopping here for now. We've treated a whole lot of topics, and okay, righteousness, very, very important. Okay, good. So let me stop here, and stopping here, I want you to serve God because God is He is who He is, and uh, there's nothing that He cannot do for you, and you will find peace in his very yard. You're going to find success and every other thing you want. And it says, seek ye first the kingdom of God, and every other thing shall be added unto you. Okay, with that, I'm going to be signing off, and I'm going to say thank you. God bless you this Sunday, and make sure you go to church. Make sure you love God and love your neighbor. And the way that you show your love is by giving. Continue to give. You just have to do that. Because for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. Very, very important. That whosoever believeth in him has eternal life. And you're not going to perish. Okay, so keep loving. See you when I see you. Thank you, and God bless you.